What is up, everybody? It is your favorite Triker, Rhino, and in this video I just wanted to take a couple minutes to talk about a long-term review on my 2020. I purchased my Ryker in late August of 2021, and when I picked it up it had 6 miles on it. Since me picking it up, I have just under 25,000 miles. I believe the other day when I was looking at it, it was at 24,953 or somewhere in that ballpark. But I've rode the thing quite a bit the past year and a half, and I just wanted to go over just what you can expect from this type of machine and kind of the longer term. Let's start out by talking about things that I've had to work on the bike that were my fault. So, user errors. I only had 2. The first one was back in April, I popped my front left tire because I hit a pothole. Like, this thing was a massive pothole. I don't know how I didn't see it, but I ran straight into it going about 35 miles per hour and it popped the crap out of my left tire. I have a tire warranty though, so that didn't cost me anything to get fixed. The only other thing that I've had happen that would be user error is I have had 2 cases of the VSS fault pop up. Now, mine weren't so bad where the bike shut down or anything like that, but it did go into limp mode twice. Now, that was my fault because I realized that I didn't have my brake properly adjusted and my foot was just ever so lightly resting on it while I was riding, and that caused the fault to get thrown up. For me, that wasn't a hard fix. I just brought it back to the house, turned it off for 30 to 45 minutes, and when I started to back up, the fault was gone. Now, I've also had 2 problems that weren't necessarily my fault. The first one being in July of last year, my right rear tail light was not working correctly. It would signal when I wanted to turn, it would signal when I wanted to brake, but the running light would not stay on. And that was kind of annoying. I could have had the warranty fix it, but at the time I had some important rides that I was trying to go on, so I just forked over $125 and bought some smoke replacement lights off of Amazon that I'm actually a pretty big fan of now. The second problem is with the OEM exhaust. On the exhaust there is a heat guard that is held on by a bracket. Now, I keep my bike outside most of the time. I try to keep it covered as I remember to cover it, but over time the bracket that holds this heat guard onto the exhaust has rusted through. And as a result, one day I was just riding down the highway and the heat guard fell off of my exhaust and is now lost forever on the side of a highway in Kentucky. But that was one thing that I thought was kind of crappy. If I was planning on keeping the OEM exhaust, I would totally have the warranty replace that, but I'm not. I'm planning on upgrading and getting a new exhaust hopefully later on this year, but that was one thing that just kind of sucked. Other than that though, I really haven't had any operations or like any problems out of the bike. The last thing I just kind of wanted to talk about was like the basic maintenance of it, because that was one thing I never took into account when I purchased it, was just how to keep up with the bike and what that kind of cost. Now, I ride a lot. I rode 25,000 miles in a year and a half. Almost 20,000 of those miles was done from 2022 to now. And that puts a lot of wear and tear on the bike, as I found out. So I've done 5 oil changes since I purchased the Ryker, and I try to do them myself, so I save some money off of that, but the oil changing kit costs about $80 each time. The only other major wear and tear item that I've had to deal with is the Cvt Belt. Now, I changed my Cvt Belt later than recommended at 18,000 miles, but that's when I started noticing it going bad. So the Cvt belt, I got an upgraded one, the Jet belt. It cost me about 140 bucks at the time. I'm seeing them go for about 150 right now. But and then I had to pay a buddy of mine to put the Cvt transmission in because I don't have the tools for it, and that cost me just under $400. So the Ryker does have some upkeep costs. I've been told it's less than other motorcycles, but this being the first motorcycle I've owned, that was just something I wasn't thinking about when I purchased it. So for you newer riders, don't forget to include basic maintenance when you buy your Ryker. A couple problems in basic maintenance out of the way. Do I still love the thing? Yes, I do. This thing is still a ton of fun. I ride it almost every other day, as often as I can, and I have some really big rides planned for this upcoming year. So if you're in the market for a Ryker, I totally recommend buying one. Just keep in mind some of the things that I have talked about in this video. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up though, guys. If you enjoyed this long-term kind of review of the Ryker, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and tell me about your Ryker. How have you enjoyed it? How long have you had it? That sort of thing. But I'm going to get off here. You guys be good, stay safe, and chase the horizon.